Hello, my name is Laura, and in today's presentation I would like to cover the topic of an Australian living in Germany. I'm currently living in Germany at the moment, hence why I'm delivering this presentation over the internet. Throughout today's presentation, I would like to cover 4 topics, including student life, everyday life, German food, and cultural differences between Australia and Germany. I would also like to bust some stereotypes and myths about German people. To begin with student life. In Germany, all public university is free. There are, however, some universities that are private, and these have fees comparable to those in Australia. A lot of universities in Germany are centuries old, and they are situated on old grounds, sometimes with a castle on them. In Germany, a lot of the time you can learn in both English and German, and thus you'll find that many German students are bilingual. The pictures you can see here are from the European Business School. This is the university which I attended for my undergraduate degree. The photo on the left shows a castle. The word for castle in German is Schloss, and thus this was called the Schloss campus. This university is a private university, and some of the students who attended had parents who were the CEO of Deutsche Bank and the European Central Bank. The first stereotype which I would like to bring up is that Germans are efficient and direct. This is very true. In university, German students are very efficient. Group assignments and group meetings are for doing the assignment and nothing else. Socializing is not on the agenda. In other areas, however, which I'll get to later, Germans are not as efficient as you would expect. My next subtopic is everyday life in Germany. In Germany, people love to socialize and attend festivals. Almost every month of the year has a festival. These festivals include wine festivals, Erntedank or Thanksgiving Festival, Children's Festival, Weihnachts or Christmas festivals, and of course the famous Oktoberfest. In Germany, there is no issue with drinking in public areas or using glass. This is in comparison to Australia, where there are heavy restrictions on the use of glass in public areas and drinking in public spaces. This is because Australia often has issues with alcohol-related violence, which is in a stark comparison to Germany, where this is barely existing. Germans see drinking as more of a social opportunity, and binge drinking is not as popular as it is in Australia. Everyday life in Germany can sometimes be a bit confusing with the level of bureaucracy, especially in opening a bank account. When opening a bank account, you need to have an address, but in order to have an address and gain a bond from a landlord, you need to have a German bank account. So entering this circle can be quite a tricky feat. If you're an exchange student, often the exchange office at your university can help you with this process. The pictures which you can see here are of some of the festivals in Germany. The first picture is of Erntedank. This is a Thanksgiving festival, and this picture was taken in my hometown of Wiesbaden. Here at this festival, it's at the end of autumn, and it's a time to thank the farmers for the produce which they have delivered. You can play with vegetables and eat fresh produce. The next picture you can see is of a wine fest. This is also in my hometown of Germany, in Wiesbaden. At this festival, in the summertime, people come and drink wine and eat Flammkuchen, which is a French pizza, and socialize together. Wiesbaden is located in the Rheingau region in the state of Hessen in Germany. The Rheingau region is famous for wine, and thus drinking wine is a very popular pastime. The next picture you can see is of a Weihnachtsmarkt. Weihnachts means Christmas. And at Christmas time, lots of stalls come together, selling everything from lollies to woodwork, to Christmas decorations, to cakes, to sausages, to German beer, pretty much anything you can think of. This is a time when everybody comes out in their big coats, drinks Glühwein, eats sausage, and socializes as a family. It can, however, get very cold, so you need to make sure that you dress appropriately. It's time to bust stereotype number 2. Germans are cold and unfriendly. I can definitely say that this is wrong. German people may be a little bit more polite and reserved than Australians, and they like to keep a friendly distance. However, they are very willing to help and offer you assistance and guidance when necessary. Often, if people don't speak English and you have to translate through sign language or other means of communication, they're still willing to help. The next subtopic which I would like to present to you is about German food. In New South Wales, in Sydney, where I lived before Germany, Grocery shopping was not a stressful experience. You could either do the self-serve checkout or someone would bag your grocery items for you. In Germany, however, grocery shopping is very stressful. You have to bag the products yourself, there are no self-serve checkouts, and the checkout attendants move the items very quickly down the conveyor belt. They almost fling them to the end of the cash register, and you're there trying to bag all your groceries really quickly whilst paying as well. Another thing is, although the store might have 6 or 7 cash registers, generally only 2 will be open. So there's usually a long line of people waiting to check out their groceries, and they'll be staring at you impatiently if you are taking your time trying to sort out your money, pay and bag all of your groceries. This is similar to Aldi in Australia, except in Germany all supermarkets are like this. Another issue in Germany is that supermarkets and retail stores are closed on Sundays. All restaurants are open, but sometimes this can catch you off guard. Restaurants in Germany are quite similar to Australia. There are many options which you can choose from. Supermarkets in Germany are very similar to Aldi in Australia, as Aldi is a German brand. Other discount supermarkets include Penny, Netto and Lidl. And then supermarkets comparable to Coles or Woolworths include Rewe and Edeka. These are a little more expensive, however they offer more options than the discount chains. The third myth which I would like to bust about Germany is that German people eat only schnitzel and potato and drink beer. This is completely wrong. As much as the paleo, gluten-free, vegan, vegetarianism trend swept over Sydney and Australia, it has taken over Germany just as much. You can find specialty tea stores, vegetarian butchers, vegan cafes, paleo cafes everywhere across Germany. You just have to look for them. A lot of people here in Germany that I have met are actually vegetarian themselves, so definitely busting the myth that Germans are more than just schnitzel and beer eating and drinking people. There also has been a rise in organic supermarkets. Some German people like to buy bio or organic products. These are usually a little more expensive, however they are free from genetically modified produce. In terms of actual meals, German meals can be either really similar or really different to those which we would eat in Australia. For example, a German breakfast commonly consists of cold meats and bread. For example, a common German breakfast is this. This is sort of a sliced Devon that you can put on your toast, and often it is spread on bread with Meerrettich, or as we call it, horseradish. They also enjoy to eat it on this dark rye bread, which you can find in Australia, but is very popular here in Germany. Another thing which is maybe not as appetizing to Australians is this. It is called Fleisch salad, and what this is sliced up processed meat or Devon mixed with mayonnaise, some herbs and cucumber. This is very popular in Germany, and a lot of people enjoy eating this on their toast for breakfast. Cultural differences in Germany. In Germany, maybe the first thing you will notice when you enter a German house is that everybody wears Hausschuhe or house shoes. House shoes look like this, and people wear them inside to keep their feet warm in the winter and even in summer. People always take their shoes off at the front door in order to keep their houses more clean or as a sign of respect when you're going into somebody else's house. Another difference between Australia and Germany is that most transactions are done in cash. You can pay with card at large restaurants and large supermarkets, department stores, and some retail stores. However, smaller cafes and boutique stores take only cash or an EC card, which is an electronic cash card. This is similar to a bank card or a key card in Australia, but Germans are very conservative with credit cards and they prefer to use cash, as you can see what you're spending, and you don't spend more than you have. Another difference between Australia and Germany is the history. Germans have a long and interesting history, especially around World War I and II. If you want to ask a German about the war, it is best to make friends and establish a strong relationship with them first. In German schools, it's compulsory to learn about World War II, and often they have excursions to Jewish prisoner of war camps such as Dachau and Auschwitz. Here, they learn about what the Jewish people suffered through and also Germany's loss in World War II. They are mostly open to talk about it, however, I would not recommend bringing it up on a first conversation. German students are very aware of what happened and they would be willing to talk to you about it, and they could even offer you some personal insight, as usually they would have a grandparent or great-grandparent who participated in the war. In conclusion, I would like to summarize the 4 topics which I have presented to you today. The first was student life in Germany. In Germany, academic requirements are quite similar to those in Australia. However, it can be much cheaper, especially with free education in public universities. The second topic which I presented today was about everyday life in Germany. In Germany, there is a festival which you can attend almost every month of the year. These festivals include Weihnachts or Christmas festivals, Oktoberfest, Erntedank, and Kinderfestivals. These festivals, people enjoy eating, drinking, and socializing together. At the famous German Oktoberfest, people enjoy re-engaging with traditional Bavarian traditions such as wearing dirndls, lederhosen, and also riding roller coasters and drinking giant glasses or masts of beer. The third topic which I presented to you was about German food. And much to the stereotypes which we face in Australia, Germans consume more than simply schnitzel, sauerkraut, and beer. In Germany, you can find vegan restaurants, vegetarian restaurants, and the paleo trend has taken over Sydney and Germany just in the same way. Finally, I presented to you cultural differences between Australia and Germany. In Germany, one of the essential rules is not to wear your outdoor shoes inside. It is important to either wear house shoes or your socks. And in order to make this presentation truly authentic, I present to you a German person. This is Yannick.
Hallo, guten Tag.
So, Dankeschön, auf Wiedersehen, and now I will answer some of your questions. A question which could occur throughout this presentation is living in Germany more expensive than in Australia? Well, in comparison to Sydney, where I used to live, rent in Germany is a lot cheaper. Also, food and groceries are cheaper than in Sydney. However, going out in restaurants and cafes is quite comparable to Sydney. You would pay about 15 euros for a lunch out, which is about $20, similar to what you would pay in Sydney. One major expense cutting area in Germany is that alcohol is a lot cheaper than it is in Australia. For example, if you are buying spirits in Australia, you can expect prices to start at around $35 to $40. In Germany, however, you could buy a bottle of spirits for as little as 5 euros. Of course, these aren't the best quality spirits, but they do start at much cheaper prices than they do in Australia. This is due to the taxes that Australia imposes, whereas Germany doesn't impose these taxes. This also applies to cigarettes. Finally, another question which could occur throughout this presentation is, can you live easily in Germany without speaking fluent German? I speak a beginner's level of German, and I find it quite easy to navigate my day. In smaller villages, it might be harder as people don't speak English quite as frequently as they do in big cities such as Frankfurt, Munich, Berlin, or Hamburg. People are usually willing to communicate with you, and if you're trying to order food, people usually have an English menu for you, or you can simply point to what you want. Along with this, Germany is in the center of Europe. Quite commonly, this means that a person might have a German father and an Italian mother. This means they speak both German and Italian, and they learn German at school. However, the first foreign language which they learn at school is English. So even if they have never been to an English-speaking country, most Germans have quite a good grasp of English. So I would say that even without speaking fluent German, it's possible to live in Germany. The question of how is it possible to study in Germany is very interesting. I studied in Germany through the exchange program at my university. Germany has a lot of partner universities with Australia, and so if you want to study in Germany, going on an exchange would be the easiest option. You can attend a German university without doing an exchange through your university in Australia. However, the process is a lot more difficult and complex. The other issue is Australians are not citizens of the European Union, and therefore you need a visa to live in Germany for longer than 3 months. This is most easily attained through the exchange office of your university, so I would recommend attending university in Germany through exchange as the easiest option. Thank you for listening to my presentation.